But what wasn't a mess was the next match for the Intercontinental Championship. Bron Breakker defending against good old Sheamus. You know, occasionally our friend Sheamus has a banger, and I'm trying to think what one of them was with Drew, wasn't it? Or
I think one of them was a three-way with Drew and Gunther, maybe. And I want to say maybe him and Gunther. This was maybe the best match I've seen him in a very long time.
Well, yeah, but again, is that faint praise? And I mean, it's Bron, but I think, unfortunately, Sheamus is like Drew McIntyre. For a while, Drew was just there. And remember, like, oh, this fucking guy again. And now he became the most interesting guy in the WWE. And Sheamus is just there, and he's been there, but he ain't changing anything. He ain't got a tan. He still wears his ruffian outfit, and he beats on people's chests and has banger after banger after banger. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing, but it's just, is it old? Is it not that exciting? And is it just, it needs a break? What is the problem here?
He's been there a long time. Jesse Ventura on commentary talked about, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I like the match so much was Ventura. But he talked about, he was at some show where Sheamus won a battle royal or something. And that was over 10 years ago. He's been there a long time.
So you're saying now that there's fans coming into the building, sitting down, and the father looks down at his little son and says, see that fucking pale, red-headed fucking guy over there? Boy, when I was a kid, he had a banger.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, you don't want to advocate for people just being fired, and you don't want Tony just to hire everyone WWF. Let's go, but they got to do something different with Sheamus just to make him interesting.
You paint him if you have to.
Paint him?
Paint him. Tan him. Do something. Shave all the hair off of him and make a freak out of it. I don't know, but just do something different because he looks like nobody else. But so it's not like
shave his head and make him a freak. Is that what your advice is?
I mean, you know, but he's just, we've seen that same pale fucking guy having the bangers for a while now. And we like Bron Breakker's bangers better.
Shave your head, be a freak, the banger angel.
There you go. Or is he Scottish or Irish? Now I know I'm gonna kiss everybody's Irish. Okay. The Irish Angel. He was, he stood behind a fucking jet engine when he was a child. And it scalded all, this is a Jack Pfeffer story for the Lady Angel. It scalded all the hair off of his body, ladies and gentlemen, and stripped him of pigment. And now he'll be in your town next week. The horrible awfulness of it can never be forgotten. Make him a freak. He's halfway there. I kid. Anyway, they had a good match here. I love Bron Breakker. They did a deal for the break spot where Sheamus was going to come off the stairs and clothesline him or whatever, and Bron met him with a spear and hurt his ribs, and that way Sheamus could sell his ribs for the rest of the match. And Bron got the Breakensteiner, flawlessly ran into Sheamus's kick and got his foot on the ropes and got a big pop. They love Bron, even though Bron's a heel. So you got that Steiner vibe. But he got a pop getting his foot on the ropes. Do you think in AEW, I don't know if most of these guys could get a pop if the bottom rope cut off their head, much less if they just broke the count by putting their foot on it. And finally, Bron hit the spear in Sheamus's bad ribs after Sheamus had gone for his big kick, but his ribs failed him. And then Bron hit the spear, boom, 1, 2, 3. Shit, these guys look like they can do damage to each other without fucking coming off the top rope and falling through 14 different pieces of furniture. Spear in the bad ribs, boom, that's good, thank you, 1, 2, 3. And it gave him an out, old Sheamus. At the same time, Bron continues his Upward Trajectory.
Decisive Victory looked good. The spear, I'm not a big fan of the spear in general, but it looked good. Looked like his head just bounced off his belly. I mean, it looked really good. Jesse Ventura did good. They really maximized what they could get out of him. You know, Jim Ross may be around the same age. We see how AEW uses him. Ventura's been disconnected from the product for a long time. They use him just enough.
Yeah, and he was better prepared here. And
I think he was into it. If he's watching that show Monday to get caught up, this is what he'd be into, Bron Breakker.
Yeah. So, and plus, I'm sure they, the story was that he didn't like to do a lot of preparation in WCW, whereas Jim Ross was a preparation freak, and that was start of friction there. But 30 years later, and he isn't in the building every week, I'm pretty sure for network television, he put the study in on this one. So, yes. So, I didn't mean to be so hard on him on the first one, but I was like, it just seemed to me like he sounded a little old. But on this one, he still got a little old in his voice, but he's got some piss in his delivery.